Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited and grateful that you are here today, and I wanted to come to you with another fun video that felt super aligning to film, and that is 7 things I'm letting go of this Scorpio season. So as you guys may or may not know, I've recently gotten into astrology, which is interesting because it's something I always felt like I should be into, but just never related to until recently. So with that, it's felt really aligning, and I felt such a nudge to study astrology, and especially my sign, which is Scorpio. And from my basic knowledge of Scorpio, let me just put this out there, I am not an astrology expert, but from my basic knowledge, one of the things about Scorpio season is it's a really good time to let things, quote unquote, die, or to shed things that are no longer serving you. So that's why I wanted to make this a video on 7 things that I am letting go of this Scorpio season, and hopefully this can inspire you to let go of some things this season, this time of the year. Maybe it will be similar to the things I'm letting go of or different. Whatever it is, that's okay. I encourage you to tune into your internal guidance, which I will link the video on how to do that if you're unsure what I'm even talking about, so you can learn how to connect and tune into your personal guidance system on things that you need to let go of. Because I think as we go through life, as we go through this journey, there are always things that we can let go of that are no longer serving us. And it's so beneficial to be aware of those things and then work towards letting those things go, which is not always easy. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the 7 things I'm letting go of. So the first one is one that I've been focused on for a while, but I've really been putting my time and effort and energy into this one, especially with the arrival of my son Arlo this past summer, and that is forsaking the present moment. It is so easy for us as humans living in this time and space to be living in the past or the future. You're either worried about something that happened that you did or said or whatever it is, and you're thinking about that in this present moment, or you have anxiety or fear about the future, what's going to happen. You know, dealing with uncertainty, which is really hard for our minds. Rarely are we just enjoying the moment. And when we are, those are those moments of pure joy and bliss and fulfillment, when you're truly in the moment, enjoying what you're doing. So that is my own personal goal, my own personal mission. That's why I have this YouTube channel. That's why I have the podcast, is to help myself and people like you live in the present moment. So that starts with stop making the present moment your enemy. Stop forsaking it. And if you don't know what forsaking means, I did have to Google it. It means abandoning, basically. So stop abandoning the present moment for hopes of a better future, or making your present moment a means to an end. Make the present moment your best friend. And I know not every single moment in our lives is amazing and filled with joy and all the stuff. We have our ebbs and flows, highs and lows, and that's okay. But the more you can come back to the present moment, the more you can breathe and ground yourself and remind yourself that you have so much to be grateful for in this present moment, the more joy and happiness and alignment you're going to feel. And just so you know, just as a reminder, I mean, I feel like we all know this on some level, but when you think about it, it's kind of mind-blowing. All we ever have is the present moment. The past is an illusion. It only exists in our memory, which our memory is kind of skewed anyways. The future doesn't exist until it gets here in the present moment. So all we ever have is the now. That is such an interesting thing to ponder and think about. The second thing I'm giving up this Scorpio season is resisting the now. Resistance is the biggest blocker of manifestations and for creating your dream reality. When we have resistance to something, that truly is what blocks us from going after what we want or manifesting that thing in your life. So rather than resisting, I encourage you to surrender to what is. And that doesn't mean just like giving up and going with the flow and not, standing up for what you believe in. That's not what that means. That means just accepting the current situation as it is, especially when it comes to something you're really struggling with. If you can accept the situation as it is, that really kind of opens your mind to other solutions. Sometimes we're so focused on what we don't want that we forget to focus on what we do want. You're so focused on that resistance of how you're going to meet your soulmate or quit your job or whatever it is, you don't even have the time and space in your awareness to come up with solutions or to be inspired by that action you want to take towards your goals. So that is another thing that I am letting go of, resisting what is. And that truly means surrendering to each moment, seeing what I can be grateful for in each moment, seeing if there's anything I can control in that moment, and if there's not, I let go of it. Again, easier said than done, but one thing I am focusing on and using the power of the Scorpio season to let go of. The third thing I'm letting go of this Scorpio season is a victim mentality. So what I mean by this is blaming others or other situations or things outside of me for my quote unquote problems, which really the only problem is that we have no problems. That's something me and my husband love to say, is that our mind is the only thing that makes things a problem. We don't really have any problems. But I'm letting go of blaming outside forces for my problems. I personally see challenges or things that I, struggle with in my reality as an opportunity to go within and see why that's such a trigger to me or how I can grow from that situation. So I encourage you to do the same. Again, this isn't easy. This is why I'm still learning to let go of it. But when something upsets me, especially something that someone else does, I take it as an invitation to go within and see if there's anything within me that needs addressing. A lot of times, many times, all the time really, the universe is our mirror, right? People are just reflecting back to us things within us that we're not addressing. So when you're triggered by something, I know it's not easy, but stop, take a deep breath, ground yourself in the present moment, go within your body, see if you feel tension, and see if there's anything that you are not addressing. Again, these aren't always easy things to do. So you may want to do this with, a counselor or a therapist or a coach or whatever, a friend, whatever feels best to you. But when we stop blaming external factors for our problems, that's truly when you take your power back and you stand in your power. And that is when you start to live an amazing and aligning and fulfilling life. The next thing I am letting go of this Scorpio season is gossiping. I am pretty proud of myself. I really don't do this very often just because, it's such a tempting thing as humans to talk about what other people are doing. But when I do, especially in a negative light, I always feel so low vibe afterwards. It's such an energy sucker or an energy vampire. We're in spooky season, or we were in spooky season. I love that term. I heard someone use it the other day, an energy vampire. Gossiping is a huge energy vampire. It just sucks it out of you. And it can be so tempting, but I just highly encourage you, if you're in this boat with me, whenever you're with your friends and they start to talk negatively about someone or, just gossip about people, do your best to either not contribute to that conversation or maybe try to veer in a different direction. Or if you really need to, in extreme cases, maybe that's a good time to reevaluate the people that you're hanging around, because gossiping to me just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good in my body. And like I said, everything is a reflection. What you put out, you get back. So when you're putting out that energy of negativity, like I said, it doesn't feel good in our body, and that can manifest in certain ways. So that is something I'm trying to completely stomp out of my reality, is gossiping in any form. Asking you guys to hold me accountable. Even small things on Instagram, I unfollowed Eat News and any of those Hollywood gossip accounts. I mean, if that is aligning to you, that's aligning to you. But to me, that just feels so low vibe. And it was so distracting, and it was just extra noise that I did not need in my reality. The next thing I'm giving up this Scorpio season is playing small. I feel like this is something I've done for a long time. in this lifetime is playing small or making myself small, or, making myself small to please others, or really, even it comes down to, it makes me think of like just not accepting compliments. Like when someone compliments me, I either want to just like not acknowledge it, or I feel like I have to give them something back just as much or equal value. Playing small really comes down to like a worthiness issue. So that is also something I'm working on, is feeling worthy. But when it comes to this podcast and this YouTube channel and sharing what feels aligning to me, like I'm going to do what feels right and not let other people's opinions or judgments or whatever they're saying stop me from doing that. So no more playing small. I'm truly going to act as much as I can in my human experience on my inspired action, and just stand in that proudly and really build confidence around my message and what I'm sharing, because I absolutely love sharing these messages with you all through the podcast and on here and through the yoga flows and the meditations and videos like this. And I really want to step into a whole new level of confidence and start playing big in that arena. So I hope that inspires you. Anything that you feel called to do, like don't play small. If it makes you feel alive and aligned and fulfilled, do it, and do it big. Like seriously, go big or go home. That is the saying for a reason. And we're only in this lifetime, in this body, in this existence once. So we're here to do the things that feel aligning. So with that, I have 2 more things I'm letting go of. This next one I've talked about before on the podcast, and this may sound weird, but I feel like a lot of people are going to relate to this, and that is alcohol. Now, I'm not like never gonna have a drink again. I'm sure I will here from time to time, like at the holidays and stuff like that. But ever since being pregnant, obviously you cannot drink when you're pregnant. I did not miss alcohol at all. And that really shone a light on how much it was kind of holding back my spiritual growth in a way, and my awareness and my consciousness. I mean, alcohol in itself isn't negative, it's how we use it, right? But so many of us can use it as a coping mechanism, or, just an escape. And that may seem innocent enough, like having a glass of wine after a hard day or whatever it may be. But in those instances, we're not feeling our feelings. And a lot of times when that happens, the feelings get stuck in our body and then they come back up. And those are the things that trigger us over and over again. So that's just something I've become aware of recently. And it just doesn't feel good. Like, yes, a glass of wine tastes good every once in a while. So again, I'm not like going cold turkey, but I'm really just not drinking that much anymore, even in social situations. Like, I love a good sparkling water. It helps me maintain my focus and my alignment, so I can focus on the things that really bring me joy and do the things I came here to do. So hopefully this inspires you. I've seen so many like sober things on TikTok. This seems like it's really a movement recently, which I am here for, because I feel like so many of us, I know, especially in my 20s, wasted, and I don't want to say that because I learned from it, but wasted so many mornings and nights just, drinking and doing stuff like that. That feels very vulnerable to share, but I know a lot of you can relate, and I'm just not here for that anymore. And I am letting go of that this Scorpio season. Now, the last thing I'm letting go of this Scorpio season, and this is probably the most important of them all, is not prioritizing fun. I do not believe we came here, incarnated in this body, in this time and space, not to have fun, to eat the foods we enjoy within reason, to do the fun things first before the obligations, right? And when you do things that are so fun to you from your alignment list, which I talk about all the time on my podcast, you become a magnet for the things you desire. And like, who doesn't want to have more fun? We just don't allow ourselves to have fun. So that is the last thing I'm letting go of, is not prioritizing fun. Whenever I feel stuck or unsure or just doubting myself, I'm going to ask myself, how can I make this present moment fun? What can I do right now that feels fun? Allow yourself to do that more. So I hope this inspired you to think of some things that you can let go of this Scorpio season. Like I said, this is the time of year where we are shedding things that no longer fit us. So maybe some of these things fit you in the past, but now you are stepping into a higher version of yourself, a more aligned version of yourself, and you're letting go of the things that are constricting you, just like the scorpion does when it sheds or molds its outer body. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know. You can also share what you're letting go of in the comments, or share any suggestions for future videos, or any questions or comments that you have. I love talking to you guys about these things. Please like this video if you want to see more videos like this, and subscribe if you're into this stuff, because I love having you around and growing this alignment movement with all of you guys. So sending you all so much love and all the high vibes, and I will see you in the next video.